One thing that Ethereum is doing a lot differently here, look at the difference. This is kind of weird. Even on the super micro timeframes, Ethereum's holding up really well, but its shape is a lot different. See, since May 12th, Bitcoin's gone like this. So Bitcoin's gone like that, and this has just been one floaty thing down. So Ethereum looks totally different from the segment I just recorded for the live show. It's a lot different, and this seems a lot easier to trade. So I've personally been dealing with Ethereum a lot more than Bitcoin. Even though technically Ethereum did a shit show kind of like Bitcoin, but not to the same degree, because the same whales buying Bitcoin weren't necessary. So this follows Bitcoin by default, but it wasn't the same circus show. This was, even though you had that same 5-minute candle ridiculousness, but in general, it didn't get all the crazy stuff. So honestly, it's almost like Ethereum has been the voice of reason, because whatever circus happens on Bitcoin, it's like Ethereum is the voice of reason throughout there. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel, essentially. So so if you note that, if we can lean on that thought process, if we can get any hints out of that, I mean, yes, it's a downward channel. Yes, it's not bullish until it breaks above here and uses it as support. And then you have an origin line up here that you're dealing with. But so things likely, anytime it goes up, it's probably going to come back down at least to some line before then trying up out of here. Does that make sense? So I don't expect it to go straight from the point of control up and out. And assuming that this is the voice of reason for Bitcoin, right, in crypto, like Ethereum right now, because it's not being played with to the degree that the whales are, that hedge funds are dealing with Bitcoin. You can see the difference, right? It's almost night and day difference. I don't think it'll go straight above and come back down. I think so. Anyway, if for example, me, it's the same concept. If it comes up here, I would take profits rather quickly on any position that I'm in, as opposed to thinking, yay, we're up to 40K Bitcoin. No, I think it'll have its hesitations and plenty of times to re-enter and take profits, and then, do something like this. It goes, if it's going to break up and out, it could, and then do some type of bull flag thing and then pop out, something to that effect, if it's going to break up and out. Ethereum has been much easier to deal with, and it's helping me understand things a lot, what's going on, because Bitcoin has been more of a distraction. It's not the truth of crypto. It's not true direction, essentially. And yeah, I'm really digging Ethereum right now quite a bit. Not necessarily because I'm bullish fundamentally. I honestly don't give two shits. I think Ethereum's here to stay, and I think it's going to be successful. But it's just, I think it might be the best chart to look at in crypto. It's not the most bullish, but I think it's given the true direction of what's happening. And just looking at it, you can get a feel for what is real. The difference between your perception and reality, I think, is the difference is smallest with Ethereum. So if you're in doubt, look at Ethereum's chart, maybe put on a channel or EMAs, like EMA fills, let's say the 4-hour EMA fill. And it really needs to get above there. If not, it's going to keep riding it down. So EMA fill is a really easy way to make sure to double check yourself. Like, am I bullish right now? Well, does the EMA fill on a bigger time frame, like the 2 or 4, 8 hour? Like, I mean, this doesn't look actually bullish very at all. That doesn't look bullish at all. That looks maybe like it wants to break up because volatility is reducing. So like the gap widened, then it's thinning. You got to pump up. It looks like it's trying to go. It might round out. It looks like it's trying to round out. But it doesn't look short-term very bullish to me. This EMA fill is really nice. And what I like to use for the EMA fill is specifically the 21 and the 55 on all time frames. I just really enjoy it. You could use the 21 and the 89, or get like really funky with it, like the 22 and the 66, or just you can mess with it and make it different shapes. But you could do something like that if you wanted to. But I really like the 21 and 21 and the 55. And if things get too smashed down like this, okay, well, this doesn't give you any freaking information. Well, instead of pissing with this, like doing something like the 89 and the 222, okay, to make it wider, instead of doing that, I will simply keep it 21 and 55 and I'll go up a time frame, like multiple time frames to the 4 hour. Now you have better information. It's not all just smashed down and senseless. Does that make sense? So right now it's a little indecisive. I'm not gonna lie. Structurally, it's above its point of control, although it's all slanted down. But it means it doesn't necessarily. It's not gonna fall off a cliff here. It's because it's above this point of control. It got above, used it as support, and is writing it. So it's a war between this point of control and that. Let's just call it the 4 hour EMA fill. Whichever way. So even though it could come down and tag this first and then pump up, but if it does break down into here, it is giving signs that, yeah, this EMA fill is gonna win the war. So if you take off price essentially on Ethereum as the voice of reason, you have a war between the EMA fill as resistance and the point of control as support. Which one? And price is stuck in between in that space. Do you see that? And now put price back on. Boom. See that? So I see it as a war, and this is visually showing you the constant war between the bulls and the bears, and it's literally a fight. Like it is a war, and it's constant because crypto doesn't shut down like traditional markets do. It is a constant war. It is a battle, and I think that this helps visualize what is going on. Although over this segment of time, the bears are clearly winning because it hasn't flipped green, right? So up here, when it's green, the bulls are clearly winning. So however, it does look like the bears are, let me take off this range. It does look, even though I'm looking at Ethereum, not Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin's being pissed around with too much. I don't think the information on it is clear. But it does look like the bears were totally in control, still in control, but they're losing steam is what it looks like to me. And if you go now to the weekly chart, even though I'm doing an Ethereum analysis, here's something that's opposite though. Watch this. Look at these weekly candles, okay? I don't how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, 10. Could be 10 if it closes. Wow. Anyway, so look at the difference though between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here's where I might backtrack a little bit on my idea that it's the voice of reason. Look at this. Now look at Bitcoin's. See that? Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're both rounding out, but Bitcoins are green and these are red, and that is indicative of the channel being different. Does that make sense? So Ethereum's channel is going down and Bitcoin's is going up. So it kind of is indicative of that. And if you go back to Bitcoin, one thing that could be creating this volatility is that you have this mega important line here. Look, weekly wick, weekly wick, weekly wick, weekly wick. It's all around 29K, 29 to 30, around 25. So I think this is the absolute battle line. And what's going on is it's being defended by big money, but it's also so this is my theory of why hedge funds are sparring. It's that line. There are people with shorts who want it to go below. If you can drive it below, it's going to tank. Like, it would be probably a capitulation event. But it's being defended by a different group of people or groups of people who are potentially coordinated, or they're all just defending it for the same incentive, even though they're not aware they're all doing it. But it's being defended and it's being attacked. This is the battle. Like, this is a huge battle line right now. And I think this is what is causing all the ridiculous stuff happening on the small time frames. But when you zoom out, you can just tell, okay, well, yeah, this line's being defended. And obviously it's being attacked because if you can get it to go down and you're in shorts, you're going to make insane amounts of money. You just got to sell Bitcoin hard enough to give it the oomph, and then the market will take it. And then those whales can stop selling. After they get it to close a week below there and then drive one more week below, it's just going to tank. It wouldn't happen all in 1 hour or 4 hours. It'd probably take a couple weeks of doing it to close some weeks behind there, and then boom, then it falls. After the people who were defending it give up. So it's the people defending this aren't going to give up with one weekly closure, in my opinion. I think it's going to be red, then a week that comes up gets rejected but is green. The next week comes up, gets rejected and is red, and then the next week is big capitulation. It'll take several weeks for the people defending this to give up. Does that make sense? So on Ethereum, so even though this line is kind of the voice of reason, but because of that sparring, Bitcoin is getting funky, and it's just easier to, in my opinion, to understand price on Ethereum's chart, even though understanding this line on Bitcoin is very important. But Ethereum is just, I don't know, it's just a nicer chart to be looking at. And you have the same concept going on over here. See that wick, a huge weekly support area, make a box, boom, bada, bing, Ethereum. So it's this pretty similar concept. So because Ethereum has the same line, I think it's just safer to freaking look at Ethereum than Bitcoin right now. Because Bitcoin's having too many games played with it because of this idea. And that is my macro thought process on the goofiness of what's going on. Why hedge funds would be, I mean, they might not know that they're sparring with each other. Like they know who it is and they know, oh, these people are bullish. We want to be bearish. They want to make money as long as we want to make. I don't know if it's to that degree. It could be an unconscious sparring, but it's happening. Like there's a spar either way, and it's that line. And I think Ethereum is really nice to look at. So hopefully you're seeing. Let me look at this channel one more time. So in case you want to copy this, feel absolutely free to take this information and make it your own. Oh, I guess I can keep that sparring line on here. Let me go to the 30-minute. And yeah, it's kind of easy to see on the 30-minute, 1 hour, something like that. There you go. That's what we got going on for Ethereum. If you want to copy that and make your sparring line. Very, very important stuff here. And I think this is going to make all analysis so much freaking easier. If it could stay above the bottom of that green box, you're in business. But look what it's in line with now. Look, this might be why Bitcoin and Ethereum held on. Because if it can hold on as traditional markets going down, when it does go down, it's going to have double support. You're going to have the point of control, and you're going to have this green box crossing, intersecting. And traditional markets just tanked, but Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't freaking move because they have this box and a point of control. Even though Bitcoin's under its point of control, but Ethereum's got both. So like it's like the voice of, I'm telling you, it's the voice of reason right now. Ethereum is, it's rare that I say this, but it probably happens a few times a year. It's better to be looking at Ethereum right now, and I'm fairly confident with that statement. Yeah, and I wish I had an Ethereum shirt on. I think I wore it on Monday. Somebody said I need that shirt, but I got the Ethereum background, and that's why. I'm all about Ethereum right now, and it's way easier to trade. And if you're trying to click around with your money, Ethereum is absolutely the way to go. That's what we got.